My daughter was married 25 years ago. My daughter and her husband celebrated their 25th wedding anniversary, and they got married on 11/7, so he would never forget it. My daughter planned that. Now, for their anniversary, he is a sports guy. I don't know if anyone here is a sports guy, but he is over the top. He has every sports channel. So she planned a surprise and got tickets to the Seahawks game on Thanksgiving. And she gave those tickets to him on their anniversary. He was over the moon. He didn't know that she had bought tickets for the hockey game, Seattle's hockey team, on the next day, and that they were going to the Apple Cup, which is his alma mater, on the next day, and that their two sons were flying in from Washington, D.C. and Arizona. So we kept the dog. That was our Thanksgiving. They had a great, great time, so much fun. And Casey was overwhelmed, as you can imagine. And I can't wait to hear the stories of how their planes were late, all different things happened, but they finally got together and had a terrific sports weekend. I would like to share a few reminders of our Unity primary teachings because it fits in with my talk. We have some new folks here today. They may scratch their head or go, whoa. So the first primary teaching is that there is one presence. That was in Teresa's reading today. There is one presence and one power, God the good, omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. One. And that means that the spirit of the universal energy, God, good, whatever word you use for it, because I believe words are limiting. We don't have the language for this energy, for this oneness. We put words on it, and it helps explain it to the human mind, but it is so much more. The other primary teaching is that we don't believe in an opposite power. We don't believe that there is evil. We don't believe in a hell. We don't believe in a need to be saved. We see that there is love in the universe. Some of us may go astray. Our personalities, circumstances change, folks. And the primary teaching is that we are all part of this oneness, this spiritual energy. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And sometimes we get confused. Which is which? Which comes first? I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. So we are reminded that what we've been talking about in our series, Ask, Seek, Knock, and the door will open. Oh my God, we're at the fourth Sunday, thank you. We've been asking, seeking, knocking, wanting that door to open. Is there a code? Is there a way to get that door to open? And the door represents the shift in consciousness. We're not talking about an outer door. We're talking about the inner door, the inner wisdom, the inner knowing, the intuition, the guidance, the peace of mind that we are all seeking. No matter what our age, no matter what our background, we are all seeking peace of mind. And peace of mind is unique to each one of us. The amazing thing, we did amazing all last Sunday, the amazing thing is that this universal presence is in everything in the universe, every cell, every molecule, and we experience it personally. That is the dynamic. That is the wonder of oneness. We're all connected and we're all unique. When we looked at the question, ask, how do I ask for a shift in my mental capacity? How do I ask how to release my hurts, my wounds, my interpretations, and my assumptions? How? How do I let that go? Meditation, journaling, sometimes seeing a counselor, the ability to let go, release, clean slate. When we're seeking, we've asked, what are those things that are keeping me from my peace of mind, my compassionate heart, my empathy, my prosperity? And that was seeking. And Georgie did a wonderful job about the things that are blocking our way, which is from the past. Nothing's blocking our way from the future. Have you noticed? Nothing in your future has blocked you. It's all from the past. And if we carry those like concrete on our shoulder, we can't see the bigger picture. Would you agree? Yes. 3 people. Thank you. Ask, seek, and last week was knock. Now, it's not a physical knock. It's an inner knock. It's a And I was teasing about the coded message. The message I use to open that door, I am at peace. I am one with the one. I am loved, and loving. Affirmations. Quiet. Turn off the mental. Turn off the phone. Turn off the everything. And listen. The door opens. The door opens. My spiritual energy field is present for me. I am not alone. Now, once again, I'm putting words on something that is not in our vocabulary. Peace of mind is just 3 little words, and it is so much more. Spirit is always more than we realize. Before I went to seminary, ministerial school, which is a long time ago, I studied the Huna religion. Does anyone know anything about the Huna religion? Yeah, a few people. Well, I was in a unity ministry, a very tiny one, and one of those people was going to a Huna group, so here I am following along. I sit with the Huna group, and it is fascinating. I've read many books about it since then, and the Huna religion is the indigenous culture of the Hawaiians, which of course has been eradicated mostly by those of us who think we knew better. The Huna religion is based on the teachings, first of all, that the water is their source. They honor water as spirit because it was everything to them. It brought them food. It brought them transportation. It brought them so many things. And their culture is very different. Many times they are raising each other's children in community. They see things in a very different way, in a loving, forgiving manner. And I was just fascinated by this. And years later, and you may have heard this story, Georgie may have told you this story, about a man who was a psychologist and a criminologist who was asked to come to a prison in Hawaii and to work with these men who were said to be criminally insane and lifers. And he had many degrees and also had a background and had grown up in his indigenous culture. So he asked for an office. And they thought, an office. Okay, we'll give you an office. Needed a table and a chair. And he asked for all the files of the people who he was working with. He never met with one of them. Every day he came in, sat 8 hours a day, put his hand on the file, sometimes read part of it, and just sat in forgiveness. He did this for months and months, and by the end of the year, when he had a contract, every one of those men had been let out of prison. They were no longer violent. They were no longer abusive. They went back to their communities, were accepted and loved and nurtured and cared for, because they believe it wasn't about them. They hadn't been loved enough. They hadn't been cared for enough. Different way of looking at things. Didn't see them as wrong or bad. Just needed more love and forgiveness. So we've been talking about forgiveness as we've gone through this process. And I've been sharing radical forgiveness. Saw there's one of those back there, if you would like to purchase it. And this has been I've had it for years and years. It's probably my best or favorite forgiveness book. It's big. It's big. It's written by a psychologist, man who's done work all over the country, given seminars, and worked in many unity churches, bringing these teachings. And when we very first started out in asking, we were using some of his ideas about radical forgiveness and what and how we have taken our experiences in life, interpreted them, assumed them, and made them real. Made them real. And they still live in our minds. And they have become a way of looking at the world. And I admitted that I repeat them. I go over them and over them. If I'm having a down day, I just might press that replay button and remember when someone said something to me offensive. I know none of you do this. You're enlightened. I know none of you do this. However, I do. I'm working on it, though, and it's less and less of my time on planet Earth. As I come to the end of the book, he talks about radical empowerment. Once we move beyond the interpretation, the assumptions, and making them real, we come to a place of empowerment. Radical empowerment means we claim the divine in ourselves and in the world. Now, I've also worked with Native American elders. I've had a lot of different experiences. And when I had the ministry in Lake Oswego, we had many Native American teachers come, drumming circles, all kinds of groups of people who were there sharing their wisdom. And it was just fascinating to me where they draw their experience. Now, their process is they have drumming circles, they have sweat lodges, they do all kinds of things in their ceremony of representing healing and moving beyond resentment and their personal issues. And I had the opportunity to drum in a drumming circle with medicine men. And at one time we had a man who came, a shaman, who came from South America, an indigenous healer, who came to our ministry who had never walked on concrete. Can you imagine? Lake Oswego. And he gave, our ministry gave to me a bow and arrows And he said it represented being clear about the truth. It wasn't about harming, it was about healing. So as we come to this place of radical empowerment, discovering the divine within us, discovering the power within us, and creating a life built on that, not on the other stuff. We all have stuff. Creating a life built on this inner wisdom. Now, it's big work. It's big work. Takes spiritual muscles. We're so attached to all that stuff, all those details, all that. And we have the ability to be empowered. Now, I said a couple of weeks ago, I'm not a radical. However, I like this idea. Radical empowerment. Now, do you know what that means to you personally? Yes. What does this mean to the world? Because when we move beyond our stuff, we free up this energy. We free up this wisdom. We free up the compassion. We free up the ability to see everything as equal. That's what the Huna folks do. They don't see this person as an outcast. They see this person as needing compassion. So we're very soon going to go into a meditation. I want to read you a story. Just begin right now to think about, I'm going to scratch my head, literally. Scratch your head figuratively. What is it that you are holding on to that is more important than connecting at the heart with others? What is more important than peace of mind? And how do we discover peace of mind? Can't buy it, can't bargain it for it. It's not on eBay. It's nowhere out there. It's right here. Peace of mind is right here. Would I be willing to have peace of mind? Would I be willing to have peace of mind and make a difference in the world? Would I be willing to see the people that are called outcasts as needing more love? It's a shift in here and in here. And when we participate in that, we become one of the many that are making a shift on the planet. Now, we cannot deny that there are things going on in our world today, right? And our world is asking for help. And we have the ability to help shift that in Salem, Oregon. We are part of communities all over the world who are seeking peace, compassion, equanimity, a new way of looking. Now, we might say that the Huna and the Native Americans and Jesus and Buddha and many, many, many people have pointed the way. And we are still discovering it. So here's my story that I'll end with. This is a Jewish story. And I even know the page number. It's supposed to have a marker here. One more. One more. I'm going to tell you the story. The story is that a group of men were sitting with their rabbi. And they were asking, the rabbi was asking, where is peace? And where do you find peace? And where do you find harmony? And one of them said, well, when the animals lay down together, that's quiet and peaceful. He said, no. And then someone said, well, when the children gather, that's peaceful and harmonious. He said, no. He said, peace happens when we can look in everyone's eyes and see ourselves. When we can look in everyone's eyes and see ourselves. So we're going to start our meditation now. One presence, one power in the universe, active and alive in you and me and we. Deep breath, or little breath with whatever kind you want. I like to shrug my shoulders, shake up my hands, whatever feels comfortable to you. Closing your eyes or not. Opening your hands, if that feels comfortable, or a hand on your heart. Some people call this going to the well. Going to the well of understanding. Going deep. To the well of forgiveness, forgiving. To the well of harmony, peace of mind. And we know that we are more than we can see. And that the world is more than we can see. There is a vibration of healing present. And the door opens to an awareness of our spiritual consciousness, our conscious connecting with the divine within as well as in the outer world. I let go. My shoulders that felt like concrete are now loosened. And my mind that was confused is clear. We rest for a few moments longer and appreciate a community where we can together be silent, hopeful, and open. Silently saying to yourself, thank you, thank you, thank you for this moment. Thank you. We can say it very softly together. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. And if you feel comfortable saying with me, I am one with the one. I am one with the one. And so it is. In the name of all great spiritual teachers, those who have come before us, those who are here today, and those who are yet to come, we ask this in the name of love. Amen. Opening your eyes slowly. Don't do it too quickly. Readjusting to the light. Story was from the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo and Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping. Good reading.